Now in this video we're actually going to start using the program. We've um, gone through our introduction somewhat to how this works. We've entered in our funds. We've entered in a few givers, and we've already set up our initial balances. So let's get started in doing some of our normal entries. Um, Everything always starts out with an entry in the general ledger, which is basically your date, check number, etc. So we'll click here on the general ledger tab, and let's start out by adding some giving. So I'm going to say it's 2000 or 3311. Oops. Find the right key on the keyboard here. Okay. And we'll say giving record. I'll just call it giving. Alright, so that's really all we need to do on this page here. Then we can hit exit. And let's pick about 3 of these and enter the giving for 3 people. So first of all, you probably always have cash giving. And we'll select that, hit go. And you can see, if you look up at the top here it says cash, and it says your line that you entered in for giving on 311, and you also have the sum of the receipts over on this side here. So as we enter in for cash, let's say we had $550 for tithe, we had $300 for general, $250 for the building fund, maybe $20 for youth ministry, and $20 for ladies ministries or something. Okay, so we're starting to build a total over here. I'll hit exit up here, and next person that's going to give to the church is Mr. Eddie Garcia. We'll hit go, and again we see that his name pops up in the top here, so we know that we are entering for the correct person. And let's say that Mr. Eddie Garcia gave $1,500 in tithes. He excuse me, he gave $280 in the general fund, maybe $300 in the building fund. Okay, so we'll hit exit, and the next person that gave was Sue Anderson. So hit go again, and she gave $100 in tithe, maybe $80 in the offering, and she gave $30 for ladies ministries. Okay, so as you can see, as we've been entering these in, the totals have been accumulating over here along the side under sum of receipts. Alright, and we'll hit exit. And of course we can also look at the general ledger, and we can see here that for general ledger excluding tithe, here's our receipts for general ledger including tithe, which is everything in this entire spreadsheet. The receipts totaled $6,860. And of course it breaks it down into the individual funds here, how much is received in tithe and general and building, youth and ladies and so on. Okay, so I'll hit exit. And you can also look at your giving entry summaries here, which is just the same as we saw on the other sheet. It just doesn't show any individual here, but it gives all the, or shows all the giving there. So I'll hit exit. And then the next thing let's go through real quickly is, how do we enter in expenditures? And the same thing really applies. We start here at general ledger, and let's add, say for example, probably a check number. Let's say we're at check number 1500, and it's another day out, 5 dash, say it's, whoops, what was I doing here, 3 5 11. Okay, having keyboard problems here. So we went to Walmart, and that's really the only thing that we enter here in the general ledger to get us started is these three things. Then we hit exit, and at Walmart we purchased some things for food and fellowship here under general fund. So we go to the general fund, hit go, and we see we're on the line there. We go over here to food and fellowship, and we purchased $125 worth of items. And as another example, well, let's hit exit here first, and then maybe we'll go to general ledger again. Let's put check number 1501, or you could put cash or whatever you want in this category here, but I'll just say it was a check. And we went maybe the same day, 3/5/11, and we paid our mortgage payment to the big bank. Okay, so I entered those three things, hit exit here, and I go to building fund, and then I go over here to mortgage payment, and I put a mortgage payment for $2,500. Okay, so you can see here it puts a disbursement, summarizes. I mean, if you do have multiple disbursement categories for a given check or whatever, say it's possible you could go to Walmart and buy something that might apply to music and something that might apply to food and fellowship, and there might be multiple disbursements on one check, and that's easy enough to do. But in this case it's just $2,500 for mortgage, and that reflects it here. We'll hit exit, and we can go and look at these things in general ledger. So you can see we've had now giving, some purchases at Walmart, we paid our mortgage at the big bank, and these things are correctly reflected in the columns. I should have scrolled over here. General ledger, excluding tithe, or including tithe, which is everything. And you can see what happened here with the tithe, the general fund, building fund, etc. So that's about as basic as it gets, I think, for doing entries. Like I say, just remember the key is that every entry that you do starts out by going here to the general ledger and entering in um, maybe your check number or whatever, and your date and your description. Those three things, or two or three things, are what you do every time you make an entry, and then you go back here and pick whatever fund or whatever giving um, person you're gonna make the entry for. That's about it.